because my dad wore a suit when I was growing up. But kids want to be rap stars, athletes, and drug dealers all too often because that's what they see in their neighborhood. My mission now is to give them something different to see, and you play a role in it. It's called America 2020 and Hope Business in a Box Academies. Go to OperationHope.org today and join the movement to make school cool once again. Visit us on the web at OperationHope.org.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Winston Churchill's immortal words stirred an entire country in the face of certain defeat. Today, these words give each of us the courage to reach for our own victories.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never.
Commitment. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Alabama's looking into an incident involving receiver Jermaine Burton and a Tennessee female fan on Saturday. A video posted on TikTok showed Burton thrusting his right arm toward the woman's head as she celebrated the Volunteers' upset win after she appeared to dance in front of his path. She could be seen holding her head while looking back at Burton afterward. Coach Nick Saban said he is aware of the situation and is gathering more information. Tonight, Astros and Yankees begin the ALCS, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Houston's been New York's kryptonite in recent Octobers, beat the Yankees in the ALCS in 2017 and 2019, and this time should not be any different, believes ESPN's Jessica Mendoza.
You're talking about the best starters ERA, the best bullpen ERA. You know it comes down to pitching. Yordan Alvarez, we saw the big at-bats from him. They've also won 5 of 7 from the Yankees. Aaron Judge said it there. You could see the look on his face.
Yeah.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck to Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Welcome into Hump Day, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday and is also known as in the fall as the eve of the start of the football week. Welcome into the program. Don't forget, you can hear us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. The Sportsocracy also seen on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat each and every day. You also get those live alerts to know every time we have special episodes like Mullet Man and the Canadan, the Tuesday fantasy show. How did Mullet and the Dude go this morning?
Oh, it was lovely. Had an LA Rams fan that thinks they're just hunky, spunky.
Oh, this is the best team in the NFC, right?
Yes. Today on the program, we will be making a trade that fixes all of the disappointing teams.
Indeed.
Can't tell you it's going to fix them all completely, but it will certainly help.
That's right. Welcome into the Ingles Studio, and time for the opening drive, brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. You check them out at 629 Brevard Road. Mention the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in. Just for saying you're down with us, because you know what, they're down with us, and so we can all be down together.
They're our friends. You're our friends. We want to make y'all friends.
Indeed.
I have been driving a car from Fred Anderson Nissan for a week now, and I will be honest with you, in one calendar week, 7 days, it has completely changed the way I feel about driving cars. I despised driving. Well, it turns out the reason that I despise driving is because I haven't driven a new car And now I'm on my second one, and they're both fantastic. I had a Rogue. Now it's Pathfinder. I'm dumbfounded at how many toys and trinkets and wonderful things. This Pathfinder has a backup camera where I can see how I sit in the parking spot.
Wow.
So now there's no, oh, look, I'm parked all cattywampus. Nope. I'm good. I can see it from up top.
Mm-hmm. Fred Anderson got me my 2017 Rogue, as I got it from their certified used lot, and you know you can get the newfangled stuff like Jeremy gets to drive.
Oh, it's I'm never going back. I'm just never going back.
No, you can't. Once you have,
I'm not sure.
For me, it was the backup camera.
I'm not sure. Well, I had a backup camera, and that's all well and good. Now my phone answers itself. My mother called me earlier, and I had a setting on my phone that I didn't know existed, and just all of a sudden, my mother was speaking to me, and I was terrified for a second, but I was like, well, that was really convenient.
I'm super excited to have a car that doesn't have a tape deck in it.
100%, as well you should be. So you got to build up.
That's right. 629 Brevard Road. The opening drive, yes, we'll be doing trades in the 4 o'clock hour. The trade that, did you do every team, or is
the
this
disappointing teams? So it's the Tampas,
okay.
The Green Bays. I got to say, if you're a fan of a team, and you're going, things are not going the way I want them to, let old Flostradamus fix it for you.
There you go. We'll have a daily draft coming up for you at the top of the third hour of the program as well. And, wow.
And we got owner things happening.
Apparently, there's some bad blood between Jera and Robert Kraft.
He said something that I can't say on this show, but I want to real, real bad. Bob, don't mess with Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm a little unhinged. Team's better than I thought.
Yeah, Jerry Jones at the owners' meetings apparently gave Robert Kraft the FAFO
100%.
argument. He was like, you're about to FA, and then you're
about
to
to FA, and you're going to FO. Now, here's the problem. I don't know that either one of those two could actually pay off a FOing.
Oh, I think Jerry's...
If Bob Kraft and Jerry Jones got into a fight, there would be pillows involved, a life alert bracelet, an ambulance would have to be called instantaneously.
Oh, 100%. But, I mean, honestly, is this not the next pay-per-view celebrity boxing match that we need?
That I would watch.
Right.
No
Jerry
Jake Paul.
Jones,
Let's
Robert
go Jera
Kraft,
and Bob Kraft.
and they're just going to go at it for 5 rounds, and let's see who comes out the winner here.
Here's my question. How many times did Bob Kraft say, have you seen my new wife, in that argument?
Oh, 100%.
She's like 30 years younger than me and a doctor.
And Tom Brady came to my wedding.
He had a game. He didn't care. He just showed up. He was doing vodka and Red Bulls all night long.
It irritates me so much. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more it just kind of eats my soul away.
That's because you thought your team was good. Now you have a quarterback that he's tipping his toe. Like just a little dip.
We're going to be going down to Bank of America Stadium on Sunday to go see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose to the Carolina Panthers.
I actually came up with a theory this morning. And I didn't come up with a theory. It's just I have bounded into one great big theory.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said Joe Namath sold his soul for the Super Bowl in Super Bowl III.
Okay.
Well, I said that as long as he walked this earth, Jets fans were never allowed to be happy again. I've come to realize that I am the prodigal Jet fan. All right? I am the one that has been foretold. And I will bear the end of the dark force that is Tom Brady.
Okay.
Brian Haynes thinks I actually need a vial of his tears to wear around my neck. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, but
yeah, I don't think you're going to get that kind of access to Tom Brady. But
you'd be shocked.
Maybe holy water.
I got away with words.
You can get some holy water. We can have it blessed.
Nah, if it's in the same vicinity as Tom Brady, I'll catch on fire.
Oh man, so yeah,
I'm just dumbfounded. So Jerry, what exactly is it that you want here? The owners are 31-1
The fight.
And all I can think of was Jerry Maguire, where he looks around and goes, "Who's coming with me?" And he winds up with a bag with a goldfish in it.
And the fight, I mean, I can't really wrap my head around the fight. So he's not necessarily upset with the $128 million that they already pay Roger Goodell to oversee the NFL. What he's concerned about is having fictitious or extra boosters in that $128 million contract?
He wants it to be more defined what he has to do. And, maybe I'm a lay observer, but I do this for a living. I would say the fact that you got Amazon to pay $1 billion for the scuzziest Thursday night football game ever, I would say that was a win. I would say the fact that we had our first full stream NFL games, that's a win. Next year we're going to have Black Friday football for the first time ever. Yeah, that's a win. I think Roger Goodell he's made his bread.
I believe so.
I believe he's made his bread.
I know we all don't like him. I know not all of us are on Roger Goodell's side. You never want to be on the side of the man. But he's earned it. I don't know what more you want, Jera. I mean, do you need a spreadsheet that shows it, or
abacus.
or do
break
you
it
just
down
want
on an abacus,
or does he just want it to be a percentage?
Well, I mean,
like he gets a percentage of the profits every year.
This is the same man that couldn't figure out how to take a selfie on his cell phone. So,
to be fair, it wasn't his cell phone. It was
I
somebody else's.
don't really care.
He took someone else's phone.
I don't care. I feel like at this point we should all be able to look at a phone, and so long as it's unlocked, we should be able to go, selfie. Let's do that. And Jerry went, where are the numbers? I can't find the numbers on this device to call. I want to make a call to the phone. Just struck me as the old guy that just looks at phone, camera. Do what I tell you to.
Yo, Google, take a picture.
Am I twittering right now?
Roger Goodell's doing a bang up job.
Oh yeah, I think he's just fine. You remember a few years ago where everybody lost their mind about Roger Goodell of he's meddling in the game and everybody booed him at the draft and yeah, that I didn't age so well, did it?
I want to know this. I want to know when the moment's coming. When is the moment coming when someone is going to say, Dad, and I guess this would have to be Steven, Dad, please go away.
Yeah, I mean, if Robert Kraft said that to him, that would be very odd.
Like, can we put your silhouette on the field like we did with Tom Landry for a few years after you fired him, obviously. But, like, can we do that? Can we just get into the next generation of Dallas Cowboys? Because you make us look like idiots more times than you don't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Because you go out and you get in some trouble with some things, with some, your extracurricular activities sometimes get in the news. You go on a radio show every day and say dumb things like, I hope we have a quarterback competition with Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott.
I'd walk to New York for that. That'd be fantastic.
Like, I think it's time, Dad. You need to step aside and let us handle this thing.
It's one of those where you just know Steven's looking around going, will you please sit down and shut up?
Absolutely.
Just sit down, stop talking.
I mean, because he goes to the owners' meetings, and everybody's like, yeah, Roger's doing a great job. We're going to give him whatever he wants, because who the hell else would do this job as well?
Jeremy Greene.
The
president accounted for
doubt that.
I've long said we need a mulleted president. I'll settle for NFL commissioner.
You would have protesters at the gates nonstop. It would be constant turmoil with the NFL if you took over.
You know how you make everything better? Throw a mullet on it. Boom. Let's go.
I mean, Roger's a smart cat. Look, for all his faults, he's a smart cat, and he has brought this league. And I'm not, and I think this is how like people look at it, and how like Jerry looks at it. Of, well, he didn't build this. This was all the previous commissioners that built this, and he's just kind of carrying
the wave.
Right? Like he's just riding the wave. He's not really in the trenches doing the hard work. I don't think you understand how difficult the commissioner job can be.
Oh, no, and it's very thankless. It's one of those that even when you're doing it right, people are still going to hate you. Kind of like our job.
Right.
I just really wish, everything in the world is recorded on a cell phone camera now. And I really wish there had been a video of Bob Kraft and Jerry Jones just.
You saying you want a piece of me?
That's all I could think of when I heard this story.
Yikes. I don't know what to make. Like, this was not what I was expecting to come out of the owners' meetings. I was hoping that there was going to be some sort of substantive conversation about, hey, that guy in Washington, he needs to be gone.
Well, we had that talk, and something very strange came out of it. After the break, we'll tell you what that is.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety, from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
I love mornings, which is a good thing since the Today Show starts early.
Morning, welcome to Today.
Those first hours set the tone for the day ahead.
We're here to give you the best start. You get the news, learn something new, and even get a little boost.
You start the day off with a clean slate, and we hope you'll start it with us.
We begin our day so you can take on yours.
Because every day needs today.
Watch the Today Show weekday mornings at 7 on NBC.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion. First with some music. Then in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And I love that football always finds a way. Like, you're in the middle of the week. There's no games going on. We've done the power rankings. And then, Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft just gave you the present of a lifetime.
And Daniel Snyder was not far behind.
No, he wasn't.
So a statement comes out from the Commanders' spokesperson after the Jim Irsay story yesterday that we got the votes.
Yeah, Jim.
This show's going to have a very Seinfeld lean to it because seemingly everything I am seeing in the NFL right now strikes me as it happened in Del Boca Vista.
Oh, 100%.
Morty Seinfeld gets voted out. We got the votes.
Yeah, these are fighting senior citizens here, folks, and we are all here for it. When Jim Irsay comes out and says there's enough evidence, like we're clear, right? We all know there's clearly enough evidence to have some sort of action against the owner of the Washington Commanders. We all know this, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what Jim Irsay was doing. When we talked about the story of Daniel Snyder picking up, hiring private investigators to dig dirt up on all these NFL owners, and you were saying this shows that he's that he's shutting him up. That was your take, right? Was that
my
he
take
holds
was
the power here,
my
and
take
everybody's
is,
scared.
My take is there are a lot of owners that are going, I wonder what he knows.
I'm sure there are.
What that guy knows.
I'm sure there are, but I think we should all rally around our quarterback here, Jim Irsay, of all people in the NFL, to come out and say, what you got. Put your cards on the table and show them to me. Good for Jim Irsay.
Which all I'm going to tell you is if you're rallying around Jim Irsay, it ends in some weird places.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. We don't care if we're all going to end up hung over in a back alley somewhere after this little voting tangent we're going to take here.
But
Jim Irsay is calling everybody to the stampede.
Maybe some powdered donut problems. I'm just throwing that out there. That's Jim Irsay in a nutshell. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
But but he's a guy that has the skeletons. Like, if Daniel Snyder has this dossier, as they called it in the story, on Jerry Jones, he's got to have a file on Jim Irsay. That's one of the easiest owners to dig up stuff on because he's got stuff that's we all know about. DUIs and drug habits and all that kind of stuff. And this was Jim Irsay going, I don't care what you got. You're making us look bad. Let's go. And I'm here for it.
So the spokesperson for the Commanders sends out a statement that basically says he's not selling the team. Jim Irsay, you can say what you want. You can say what the owners, whatever vote you have, whatever. Have you seen the letter that Daniel Snyder sent out?
No.
And this was him personally. This came from him to all of the other owners.
On his letterhead. All right.
And it's Dear Blank. And I'm assuming that he had an autofill that put in the owners' names there. I hope that you and your family are doing well.
Oh, no.
I would like to address a recent ESPN article that contains false and malicious statements about the Washington Commanders. And yes, I'm saying it in that voice for a very specific reason, because that's how the whole thing reads. So the spokesperson comes out, and they're the bad guy. Oh, I hate that rabbit. I'm not selling this team. Dearest Violet, I hope this letter finds you well.
Because he knows. I think Daniel Snyder knows that he is but just a whisper away from losing his team.
I think he knows he is but a whisper from the straight standoff that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's been keeping receipts. I have no doubt about that. I have never had a doubt about that, and these letters and these statements all tell me he's got something.
Mm-hmm.
So he may know he's going down, but he's taking somebody with him. Who that is, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's Jerry Jones. I'm going to get somebody.
But is Jerry Jones too big to fail? I mean, he's had enough scandals already.
Nothing is too big to fail. That's not a thing.
Mm.
Name it.
We had a whole economic crisis that would tell you different. Just saying. I mean, not to get political and everything.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. When people give away money like it's candy on Halloween, then all of a sudden the economic...
Yeah, exactly.
Not to get political. Okay, it's political season.
No, I understand, but this is what this is. This is politics. Mm-hmm. These are all. Think of these as all senators, and they're just trying to get their little piece of the pie. And here you got one outcast that's causing problems for everybody, Swears he's got dirt on some of you. Yeah, but he ain't going to get us all. And I think that's what Jim Irsay was doing.
Well, Jim Irsay's not the one to go, show me your cards. Oh, pocket aces.
I'm going to disagree.
Why? Because we all know it?
Right. When you don't have the skeletons in your closet that they can go, oh, see what I found out about you? Yeah. Been there, done that. I've already weathered this storm. I'm through it, and I still own my team. How about you, buddy boy?
I just had a weird realization that I am the Jim Irsay of sports talk. What exactly could you tell somebody about me that they would go, I am aghast?
Exactly.
Most of it they'd go, yeah.
See, he's
a grown man
Black,
with a mullet.
Adam Black said it in the comments on the YouTube stream. He said that he is the perfect guy to do this, and I fully agree. Jim Irsay is the guy that's, what are you going to come at me with that people don't already know? Is there anything that could come out about Jim Irsay that you'd go, oh, not Jim. Jim didn't do that.
You could tell me that he grew up as high school buddies of Doc Antle from the Tiger King, and I'd go, I'm not even kind of surprised about that. I don't know why.
And he may not have anything else. Like, we already know his dirty laundry. He's the perfect rally point.
You know, I hadn't really thought of it that way, but that's an interesting way to come at this.
Yeah.
Irsay's like, oh, what you got?
Right. Or
maybe a little recreational. There's pictures of that on Google.
Right. And how did he get all the information on all the dirt that's out there? How much of it could be, dirt that a bunch of owners have? It might be something that you're guilty of yourself and everybody else knows it. What did that one executive say in the story? At the big Daniel Snyder story that said, we all hate you.
Yeah, this is not the mafia. We just hate you.
Right. We don't hate each other. We hate you. We're 31-1, just like Jerry Jones over here. But we all know he's untouchable, but we're going to get you.
So I have a question. And there's the reason I want to talk about this today.
Okay.
Is Daniel Snyder the biggest problem in the NFL right now?
Yeah.
If you're Roger Goodell, are you sitting around going, Dan Snyder is the thing that's keeping me awake at night, and I must rid myself of him?
Absolutely.
I think you're right.
He is public enemy number one.
And if that's the case, that's where I may have overplayed my hand on what he has.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be released. That'll be an ugly day.
Mm-hmm. Because
maybe an ugly week.
Right. Because I think he's bluffing. I'm sure he's got some stuff, but it's not going to be tear your franchise down, burn it to the ground kind of stuff. This is all stuff that we're going to look at and go, so you really want me to be upset that a billionaire did that? Like,
and I'm going to say this as clearly as I can, and you tell me where my story doesn't hold water. Fact or fiction, I have always played at tables that were a little over my skis.
Fact.
The higher up that ladder you go, the darker the skeletons in those closets get.
100%.
You take that for what it's worth. There are things that could come out that would be very damaging. What I undervalued is, but will it take you down? Daniel Snyder, we know there's enough to get him.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is have enough behind it to go get him and for it to be a big enough problem. It's like working on your car. If your tires are out of balance, it's annoying and it shakes and it vibrates a little bit. That's annoying. If your tire's flat, that's something you have to address right now. You can put off that alignment for a week. And I'm starting to think that Daniel Snyder is the flat tire of we have to address this right now.
Yes.
Because really ask yourself this. Name another owner in this sport that's a headache. Jerry Jones is annoying, but he's not a headache. He prints money.
No, absolutely.
Has an outrageous stadium that he financed largely himself.
I can't come up with one.
The Stan Kroenke thing's done. He's cutting the check for the move.
Yeah, and I don't ever see that as
really
that was a problem.
There's not another owner in the sport that's a problem.
I mean, it was a problem for St. Louis. The people in St. Louis were mad about that, but nobody else was.
I heard Pat McAfee earlier talking about the old money has a little bit of an issue with the new money that's coming in. I got news for you. Tough.
Mm-hmm.
Tough. This old guard of NFL owners, that's going away. You'll still have your team, but you're just not very relevant. Even Bob Kraft, outside of Patriots games, how often do you see him at this point? You still got power. I don't debate that you have power. But there are a lot of fish out there that we would really like to get at the expense of a Daniel Snyder. I want Jeff Bezos owning a team.
Yep.
And you will never convince me that there was not a wink, wink, nudge, nudge on this Amazon deal of we'll pony up the bucks. We'll get this Black Friday game next year. But with the next time a team comes open, and it's A, B, C, D, E. These are the 5 I want. When one of these comes open, I'm your Huckleberry.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't shock me at all.
And I think Washington's one of them. And if I was a Commanders fan, I would do the same thing that I'm doing, just saying I'm a humble man of basic means, and I don't ask for much, but I want nothing more than the Carolina Panthers to hang an L and me to spend 2 hours in a car with this man right here coming back with all of the jokes.
I don't think there's a list. I don't believe that there's a list. I don't believe there were options. That conversation was, when y'all finally get rid of him, this is mine. I moved to the top of the list. We still have to go through the vetting process.
Well, if that was the case, he would have had the Broncos. I think there are specific teams he wants in places that make sense for him.
Yeah, maybe.
And I believe it's the 2 New York teams, which will never be sold, Washington and a couple others, that make sense in Jeff Bezos' strongholds.
Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Time to get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, after he didn't get the bag or secure the bag from LIV, Charles Barkley has a brand new deal.
And it's for $1 bajillion.
10 years. 10 years with TNT for $200 million. Good for him. Good for Chuck. I thought that was the kind of money that he was going to be getting from the Live.
Oh, it was 100% what he was going to be getting from the
I did not think that TNT would pony this up.
You had to.
Of course you do. You have to find some way to make the NBA relevant. And let's be honest, inside the NBA,
it's the most relevant part of the sport.
Right. There is no other. There is no other. The games aren't that interesting unless you're an actual fan of the team. And
only if you're not a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right. And by the way, I mean, tonight, fans of the Charlotte Hornets, are you super excited for the opener tonight against the San Antonio Spurs with Steve Clifford as your head coach?
You know what
no LaMelo Ball?
You know what I'm excited about for tonight? Tip-off night. For my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets!
Oh, my gosh, it's back!
Let's go!
It's back. Look, I mean, the NBA's, the best part of the NBA is the highlight show.
Absolutely.
And you have a chemistry with these guys that just works. Pay them what they want. Good on Turner. Good on Turner for getting this contract done. 10 years for $200 million. Way to go, Charles.
That's a lot. My story is also about a sum of money, and it's not that much. The September 12th game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Washington Commanders, that game was played in Washington, right? They did a thing that I didn't know NFL teams did. They had a 50-50 raffle. I can't say that without laughing because that is what high schools do. I did not know NFL teams did that.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a 50-50 raffle. And the amount for the winner was $14,822. And it was won by a fan named Drew. And he called into local radio station, The Team 980 AM. And he told them something very disturbing after he received the FedEx package with his check inside it.
Okay.
The check bounced.
Oh.
The check bounced. They bounced a check for a 50-50 from the Washington Football Team Charitable Foundation.
Of course.
And then they had to come out and say it was a bank error. Like, it was a bank error for $15,000. This team's worth $5 billion. you bounced a check for $15,000. That'd be like you bouncing a check at a gas station. I tried to buy a tube of chapstick, and they told me my money was no good here.
Mm-hmm.
Just get I don't care how it happens. I don't care who gets got here. Get rid of Daniel Snyder. This is a joke.
100%.
Somebody sent me the story. I went, that can't be real. It's 100% real.
But this was, again, the charitable foundation. So maybe I have no excuse. Like, I was trying to find a way that this would make sense.
This was like
it's interesting to know that the charitable foundation doesn't keep that much cash on hand.
This was like the girl at the bar that's like, I want 4 lemon drops and put $12 of it on this card and $8 on this card, and then pulls out a $50.
Jason Trump, who uses
we all
checks? I love that.
I actually just discovered that I have a check.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what account it's for.
It's still.
I don't know where I got it, but I have a check. I found it at my desk earlier.
I feel like it's still a standard, right? Is it not?
What?
Is it not still a standard for bank accounts when you create one, they give you a checkbook? Do they not do that anymore?
No, you have to pay for checks.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know you have to pay for them, but is that not
why would anybody pay for them?
I have no idea.
I
haven't written a check in 10 years.
I'm not 100% sure I know how to write a check. Like, I know where things go, theoretically.
Right, there's a box where you put the number on how much money
Yeah, but then I have to
give.
write out, I have to give the dollar figure its government name and write it out like $14,047 and no cents. Just write the number on the thing and let's go. Venmo it.
You have to double check though. You have to make sure that everybody knows what that number. You don't want to get decimals getting mixed up. What if you have a little curly Q on the end of your 50 cents and somebody moved the decimal point and now instead of a $100 check, that's $1,000 check.
You know where that doesn't happen? Venmo. Because you have to put the decimal point in there.
I get it. You kids and your newfangled machines.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you think, hey, my job is really a headache, just understand that at least twice a month I have to Venmo him and tell him how to go get the money. Now, I got a text message. Does that mean is it going to print money out of my cell phone? Camera!
Oh, that would be awesome. Love to be able to do that. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
It's midterm season. MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis to give you a greater understanding of the races, the results, and what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2022 midterms on MSNBC.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia 22030.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real
here on ESPN Asheville, and yeah, we're still celebrating. We still feel good about this thing. Just like Tennessee doesn't care to write that $100,000 check to the NCAA. Okay, you go ahead and fine us.
It's fine. We used it as a drinking apparatus on the banks of the river, and we'll replace it.
Little Birdie told me that, and I don't know if this was reported anywhere or they just heard it through sources, but they had already bought goalposts. Tennessee bought goalposts last week because they knew this was going to happen. Or they knew there was a possibility that this was going to happen.
I know this is I'm sure there's a very basic answer to this. Where does one buy a goalpost? Do you go to Goalposts R Us? Or can you get those at Dick's in a real big city?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sure there's a catalog out there somewhere. Do they still give the schools catalogs so you can find those things?
What are you, 80?
Here's the that's the special industrial version of the East Bay catalog, where you can buy goalposts and things.
I'm gonna act like I know what an East Bay catalog is.
Oh, I forget how young you are sometimes. Anyhow,
East Bay. That sounds like a boy band from the 90s. 98 Degrees.
No, that's
In Sync, Backstreet Boys, and East Bay.
No, that's where you bought all your Puma shoes when everybody else thought they were off the market. Rocky Top was on fire Saturday night, obviously, after the 52-49 win for the Tennessee Volunteers, snapping the 15-game losing streak to the Alabama Crimson Tide, and they rushed the field after the game was over. It was all dramatic. The end of the game was phenomenal. Back and forth battle here. Once you thought Tennessee had done Tennessee things and give the ball away, Hendon Hooker lets Alabama defense score a touchdown to take a lead, and then they came back, and then they missed the field goal, and then we hit the field goal, and everybody had the big, massive release, and everybody rushed the field. Well, apparently during all of this, as the players were trying to leave the field, there was a woman, there's TikTok videos out there, of a woman coming down onto the field, running in front of Jermaine Burton, the transfer from Georgia. She leaps to get out of his way, and then he sticks his arm out to hit her in the head. And I'm just don't do crimes, okay? Don't do crimes. Did you not see last week where Von Miller faced criminal charges for
Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams. And I was thinking Von Miller too, because remember the
Bobby Wagner.
Thank you, wrong team. Bobby Wagner.
I'm about to say Von Miller was in Buffalo.
Yeah. Bobby Wagner for the LA Rams facing, a suit or complaint of some kind.
That didn't go far.
No, it didn't
Who's
go
shocked?
far. But still, you can't go out of your way to interact with the fans when they make an effort to get out of your way. This is not good for Jermaine Burton.
I thoroughly love, to the Bobby Wagner reference, when the judicial system goes, oh, you want to file suit? When you trespassed and somebody hit you. No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is not a this is not a good look.
No.
It's not a good look. And look, I've watched the video. I can't really tell what's happening. There's a lot of things happening. The camera's moving very aggressively, and you do see Jermaine Burton, and then it appears something happens. I can't really make a determination from that. This person says they were struck by Jermaine Burton.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama has put out a press release saying, we're looking into this. We'll let you know when the investigation has reached its apex.
Right. I mean, this should be a suspension. I would say this should be a suspension.
Well,
you can't do this.
Well, and this is going to be the 2% of people going to go, this is why you should never rush the field, because it's a bad thing to lead to. Stop
this. There's one person that is responsible for what happened, and it's Jermaine Burton.
100%.
Jermaine Burton, I mean, that was a punk move. This is you're upset. It's just like Davante Adams, in my opinion. You're upset because the game didn't go your way, and you see the opportunity to inflict some pain on somebody, and you took it. And you took it because you thought there's so much going on, nobody will see me. I'm just going to take a cheap shot. I'm going to get one of these Tennessee fans.
And if that's the case, I hope you kick him off the team. If that's the case, if what you just said is what actually happened.
Well, they'll never be able to prove that.
As many cell phone cameras as were running at that time, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Maybe they can. Maybe they find an angle that goes, this is malice. You obviously had malice in your heart when you were trying to just get somebody, and we're not going to put up with that here at
Look,
Alabama.
we got a good enough angle of the Davante Adams thing for me to go, okay, this is not nearly as bad as it looked.
Still bad. But
I don't agree. For me, that somebody walked out right in front of me. I have no idea what you're doing, and you appeared out of nowhere. I got news for you. You better hope I'm not on that jury, because I would have seen that and gone, no. Look where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is not a look where you're going.
No.
I can tell you that much.
In the video, you go frame by frame. You can see the woman running towards. She sees Jermaine Burton. And she does that little move like she's going to sidestep him because, there's a football player. I don't want to get hit by him because, I mean, this woman probably doesn't weigh 100 pounds. She's going to get creamed if she runs into Jermaine Burton. So she leaps to the left to get out of his way. And as she's doing it, he reaches out with the right hand and just, boops her. I mean, it wasn't like he smacked her to the ground or anything, but still. You made contact voluntarily with someone who was trying to get out of your way because you was upset you lost a football game. It's just a punk move.
I agree.
It's an absolute punk move. And but I can't remember. It wasn't him that did it, but remember George Pickens. I said the same thing about George Pickens when he got into the fight with the Georgia Tech receiver in that game 2 years ago. Young guys, brash athletes, they make stupid mistakes.
100%.
And Jermaine Burton did, and I hope he has to pay the price for it.
And there was a lot of hostility around this game. Mm-hmm. And no matter what comes of this Jermaine Burton thing, it was not the most hostile act that happened around this game. I'll tell you that story in just a bit outside.
Nice.
Next hour.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes, loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. So this holiday season, we're giving you 40% off any new system, because feeling secure in your home is a gift that everyone deserves. Named Best Home Security of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report, Simply Safe protects your whole home with advanced technology, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to save 40% today. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Ha-ha! Did you listen to me last night? Because you should have listened to me last night. Taking those 4 bangers to bet us, you'd have been 3-1, just like I was. Again, I can't give you this advice enough. Don't watch these games. They're painful. They're not fun to watch. I watched 0 seconds of last night. 3-1, money-making night, doing it again tonight. First, my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets.
I'm already tired of that.
Kick off their 2022 title run at the Utah Jazz. I'll give you a minute to collect your thoughts on who still plays for the Jazz, because it's not really anybody of any note outside of Mike Conley. Nuggets are a 7-point favorite. They'll cover that within about the first 4 minutes, and it will never be close after that. I hate giving up points. This is one of those times I don't even kind of care. Give me the Nuggets, minus the 7. Next, the Chicago Bulls are a 7.5-point dog at Miami tonight. Chicago's one of the teams I look at and go, you're going to be better than people think. I understand Zach LaVine's not going to play. I don't really care. You're going to be fine. DeMar DeRozan's going to have another year like he had last year. That's just too many points. It's just too many points. Give me Chicago plus the 7.5. Finally, the New Orleans Pelicans take on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to go on the opposite side of the world here. I'm taking the New Orleans Pelicans. I think that team's going to be really good now that they're at full strength and might actually be fun to watch. It's kind of rare that happens with New Orleans. Give me the Pelicans plus the 2.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And as always, take your wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy when you create an account. Make your deposit into the account. And with the promo code Sportsocracy, they will give you a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into the account, up to $2,500.
And here's the thing. Take whatever you want to wager on the NFL for the rest of the year. Throw that in the account. Take the free tokens. Throw them on the NBA games. And don't watch them. Let me do that. I'm falling on this sword for you.
But you didn't watch the games.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. And I still went 3-1.
I don't have to. Especially early in the NBA.
No.
Early season NBA that's just prime make money territory.
We're all here for inside the NBA. That's it.
I'm not here for any of it.
No.
I'm watching old Sopranos episodes because I didn't actually watch the show when it was on live.
Which good for you for finally coming up on and doing that.
I can't actually say that was my decision. HWA picks our television shows. She really mainly manages my life. Anything that I don't do here, I probably don't actually have any say in.
Well, it's not shocking. You can't be left to your own devices.
Oh, good Lord, no. Oh, no, just beef jerky and nerds ropes and domestic lights. That's all. That's what I live on.
And heaters.
And 100%.
Yeah. It's not the healthiest of lives.
It's not a steady diet for somebody it's a growing boy.
But if Jeremy's hard living life sounds like your life, of you don't really care about things the way you should, you don't care about your health the way you should, well, all of that kind of turned around, obviously, with the PhD weight loss program. Because PhD taught us a better way to live. They taught us how to be responsible and to, only put good things in our bodies. Drink all the water, get all the protein, get a little bit of exercise, nothing too strenuous, don't even have to join a gym. You could do all of these things, follow their program. You too could possibly lose 90 pounds like I did with PhD.
I have HWA for all my life decisions. I have HWA, or I have PhD, different acronym, different three letters, to determine all of my dietary choices. Because as I've said, I'm kind of lazy. And over the years, I had gotten into bad eating habits, a lot of fast food, because it was quick and it was easy. After 9 months on the PhD weight loss program, I'm back to my high school weight. I feel fantastic, and it's all because of the planning program at PhD.
You know how you get involved? Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. Jeremy has devised in his own brain the fixes for your disappointing team in the NFL. Coming up in the next hour, we will give you the trade that your team, with prospects, that they could make.
Yeah, this is not for the Houston Texans.
No, we're
sorry.
not. We're not trying to fix the Houston Texans or the Jacksonville Well, no, they're not one of those teams anymore.
Also not a team that I'm trying to fix.
Okay. I'm so used to saying Jacksonville in the bottom feeders branch.
You'd theoretically say the same thing about the Jets, and you can't do that anymore.
Can't do that either. But, if you got high hopes for your team going down the stretch of the NFL season, obviously the trade deadline coming up in just a couple of weeks, what trade could your team make to improve their fortunes throughout this season? And no, nobody's getting offensive linemen.
No.
Sports Center is coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex DM. Say goodbye to retaking medicine every few hours. Buy Mucinex DM to get cough and chest congestion relief for 3 times longer than typical 4-hour cough and chest congestion medicines. That's 3 times longer relief for chest congestion and cough. Nothing lasts longer. Among OTC cough and cold medicines, use as directed.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes! Loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Fall into a hiring spree with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm Will Selva from Good Morning Football.
And I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz from NFL Total Access. Will and I are teaming up for a brand new podcast, El Huddle.
El Huddle is the first English-language original NFL podcast by and for the Latino fan base. But don't worry, everything will be in English with a little bit of Spanish and Spanglish flair thrown in.
No fluency required, just a love of the game and a love of the culture. Listen to El Huddle on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Alabama's looking into an incident involving receiver Jermaine Burton and a Tennessee female fan on Saturday. A video posted on TikTok showed Burton thrusting his right arm toward the woman's head as she celebrated the Volunteers' upset win in Knoxville after she appeared to dance in front of his path. She could be seen holding her head while looking at Burton afterward. Coach Nick Saban said he is aware of the situation and is gathering more information. Astros and Yankees open up the American League Championship Series tonight. Third meeting in the ALCS for the team since 2017. And like the previous two, Houston will win this time as well, believes Mad Dog Radio's Chris Russo.
They won 106 games. They beat the Yankees 5 out of 7 in the regular season. Their pitching's lined up. At home field, Yankees are all messed up because they finished yesterday because of the rainouts. Yeah. So their starting rotation is not in good case. I'll be nice and give the Yankees 2 games. Astros in 6.
Chris Russo on First Take, Game 1, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NBA Bulls guard Zach LaVine out of tonight's regular season opener against the Heat with a left knee injury.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
The Warriors are still the Warriors, and they're better. Repeat what I just said. The Warriors are better this year than they were last year.
More from KJ and Max Thursday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. We'll welcome everybody along. If you're just joining us, where you been? We missed you. Glad you're here. Be sure to go to the YouTube channel. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Subscribe to the channel while you are there. That way you can get into the chat, and when Jeremy comes up with a stupid trade idea for your NFL franchise, you can call him out on it, and we will read it, because we love when people make fun of Jeremy.
What
I'm sorry. Was that a mean way to open up the hour?
Well, what did I do?
Flostradamus puts on his all-knowing, all-seeing cap and tries to figure out a way to fix the disappointing teams in the NFL in this season as the trade deadline comes up November the 1st, and you got a lot of rumors going on right now.
This is most likely to be the most active trade deadline that we've ever had.
It very well could. I mean, will the Carolina Panthers be able to make a couple of moves to shed some of their, I don't want to call it dead weight, their unused potential? How about that? That's about the nicest way you could put that. Will somebody come and make them an offer that they can't refuse for Christian McCaffrey or DJ Moore? Who knows? How are we going to fix it, though? How are we going to turn this around? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Green Bay Packers, LA Rams. We've got so many teams that could make moves to fill holes to put themselves in a better position.
Well, And the first move that I have is not actually a team that needs fixing.
The Buffalo Bills.
It is the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons and makes a trade.
Like the
Brandon
Buffalo Bills. This is not hard to figure out. All right, there was a lot of gnashing of teeth this morning on Mullet and the Dude because I referenced that I was going to be saying this, and Carolina fans lost their minds. So I went down a rabbit hole of what can you expect.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a team that would be willing to do exactly what I'm getting ready to say? And the answer to that is yes, the Buffalo Bills. If you look to the past, there have not been a lot of high-end weapons traded in the last 25 years, but there have been a few that make me think that the cost of Christian McCaffrey is not going to be nearly as high as what you think.
Okay.
Now, a team like Buffalo would look at that weapon and go, that fixes everything we have. This is not a long-term fix. We'll take the dead cap. We don't care.
We got to win a Super Bowl.
This is our year. All right, for the rest of the year, he's going to cost less than $600,000. So my first trade is Christian McCaffrey going to the Buffalo Bills.
All right, and so at least the Carolina Panthers will get back a first-round pick.
No.
A second-round pick.
Kind of.
Okay. Explain yourself.
It's 2 third-round picks. Both are conditional.
Both are conditional.
Both are conditional.
Okay. So it would be possibly 2s.
It would be possibly 2 2s. Of the 3 this year is contingent that he is on the roster on March the 6th or whatever the start of the league year is.
Mm-hmm.
That 3 then becomes a 2 because he's going to be on the roster for the rest of the year. The next one is contingent that he's on the roster the beginning of the following league year. Because I'm not sure that they would actually pay it. I can tell you this definitively. The call has been made, and the call was listened to from Buffalo to the Carolina Panthers. So anybody that tells me, oh, Carolina's standing still, I got news for you. You're going to have to tell them that because they're putting out feelers that say very much something different.
Why do you think you should? Tell me, Panther fans, in the chat, in the comments, Adam Black, Kevin Vick, whoever, tell me why you should not get what you can out of Christian McCaffrey right now.
Doesn't make any sense. He'll be 27 years old before he plays another valuable snap for you. And this is not a running back that's going to age well. He's not. I mean, I understand you like him. I understand he's the guy on your fantasy team. I understand he's the guy that, in theory, if you were going to the stadium, he would be the reason that you were going, but you're not. That argument doesn't really hold a lot of water. Did you see the last home game?
Mm-hmm.
It was awful red in that stadium. You can't become beholden to things like this. You just can't. Christian McCaffrey's not a building block piece. He's not. Paying $20 million does not make any sense. Archie Cunningham in our YouTube comments said, Buffalo have to give up first-round pick. Carolina won't trade him for any less. Well, they're not going to.
No.
And neither is anybody else.
Nobody.
They're not giving up a first-round pick for a running back.
No.
And if you don't believe me, look into the draft and realize that there are currently 7 day 2 running backs. Look at Ken Walker, Damian Pierce, Breece Hall. This is what's the nice way to put this? This is the cherry on your sundae. This is not something you have to do by any stretch. You don't have to do this if you're the Buffalo Bills. This is a luxury move. And that's the reason. Trust me, I went through every team in the league. Who could possibly want to do this? And Buffalo's the one that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Keep a little wear and tear off of Josh Allen. This is not a long-term play. And trust me, the deal will be hard to move. There's going to be dead cap with Buffalo no matter what they do.
Founding father of the House of Reprehensibles, Patrick Holt, says, why would Buffalo want to do that, though? With Christian's injury history, it's a huge risk. Why would they want to do it? For a ring.
Mm-hmm. Look at the LA Rams.
Right. This is what this is all about. I mean, I don't know. I look, here's my dumb brain when it comes to NFL trade stuff. Can they take on the dead money? Can Buffalo physically remove that from Carolina's grasp?
That's a really long – the dead money that comes from this year, no. But there are things that can be done to cap maneuver that the team is going to have to take on. Mm-hmm. The current year, you've already committed to the guarantees. So that will stay with Carolina, and it can be pushed out over the course of 2 years. Buffalo will have to make the decision down the line. And for Buffalo, it's a lottery ticket. Why would Buffalo do that? Because that second-round pick is going to be in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
This team's not going to have a window forever. Stephon Diggs is pushing 30.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, to be real honest, I love him more than anybody that doesn't have a Buffalo Bills tattoo loves him. I can tell you definitively he's not going to be Tom Brady playing until he's 45. So I have to do what I can do to give myself the best chance to succeed.
Absolutely.
Corner, I get Tre'Davious White back. That is a position that Buffalo needs.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a lot of young guys, and I can just filter them out there, and they all have a role.
What would you be willing to give up for a ring? That's the question that I have to ask all fans of teams that go, yeah, but I don't know if we want to make the commitment. I don't care. If it ends in Super Bowl win, I don't care when it happens. I don't care if it happens in the first year, second year, third year. If it happens, it happens, and anything is worth that price.
There's also something that I don't think Panther fans are thinking about. Where did David Tepper come from?
Pittsburgh.
Who moves off everybody a year early,
mm-hmm.
not a year late.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pay anybody a year late. If Christian McCaffrey gets hurt again, you will pay every cent of this deal because there's not a team in the NFL that take him on. Right now, he is an alluring piece because he's something you can get in the middle of the season for less than he's worth. He is one of the few running backs that's worth more than what I said. That's why it's 2 conditional picks. And you get a Buffalo team that's looking around going, you know what, James Cook's not ready. And it is obvious by their usage. He's the long-term solution. He's not ready right now. I need a dynamic threat. I can get by with Devin Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
So the thought that they're going to leverage you into a one, they'll hang up the phone and walk away. So will the San Francisco 49ers. That's one I've heard. They're not doing that. They don't value running backs. It is super abundantly obvious.
Right.
The other one that is worth talking about is the Rams. That is a move the Rams would make. That is a team that you might get them to come off more. The only problem is that their next first rounder is what? The next presidential election?
Mm-hmm.
Not the upcoming one. I'm talking like 6 years from now.
Right.
So that's just not going to happen. The pieces don't line up there. So to me, this is one of the few times that you have an asset that it makes infinite amounts of sense to trade. You have an owner that is going to want to do these things because you cannot ask a young coach to come into a team with 4 draft picks. It doesn't make any sense. It's going to be a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, look at the New York Giants, look at the New York Jets, look at the Atlanta Falcons, look at the Seattle Seahawks. You know what all 4 of those teams have in common? They had a lot of rookies, a lot of young guys. That's what these young coaches want.
Mm-hmm.
I want young, cheap, controllable assets. Christian McCaffrey is not alluring to me. I know you love him. I know you wear that 22 on Sunday, and it really bothers you when I say that. It's the truth. It is the truth. NFL teams at this point look at running backs just slightly higher than they look at kickers. It is not much of a difference, and I hear that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a dynamic running back.
Mm-hmm. He can do it all. He can catch. He can run. He can do all the things. He's shifty. He's fast. He's got all the things you could want when he's available. When he's available.
And
guess
at the
what?
end of the day, he's played 16 games in 3 years.
And he is available right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is available right now to you for the low, low price of 2 second-round draft picks. That's where I start. I start the conversation at second-round draft picks.
And that's what I'm giving you.
And if we get to the third, if we get to, thirds and that can become conditionals, then all right, maybe I'm in.
And that's where I'm at. Is I'm giving you 2 twos. If he's physically on my roster, I don't care about. I don't need performance incentives. I don't need any of that. All he's got to do is be on the roster. That's it. He can get hurt. And none of that matters. If he's on the roster, it's a second-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm Buffalo, I'll walk away from that going, I'm just fine.
Because they have the young stars. Mm-hmm. They have the young stars. They've done the good drafting. Now it's time for them to cash in some future assets to get assets to help them win right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no doubt that Christian McCaffrey would throw a whole brand new wrinkle into into that offensive scheme up there.
They've now become completely indefensible.
And I get Panther fans are sitting here thinking, well, the next coach will want Christian McCaffrey to be a part of this.
Not necessarily.
Why? I mean,
it makes it so – okay, I asked this question this morning on Molten Dude Brian Haynes. How much cap space do the Carolina Panthers have next year?
I don't know how much.
Negative $5 million.
Hot.
Yeah, they're $5 million over the cap. And when you look at that list of players, here's who's making 8 figures, double digits. Robbie Anderson, who's not here anymore, Taylor Moton, who's a right tackle, a running back, an off-ball linebacker, and you keep doing this and go, is that nucleus winning us a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, is a Ken Dorsey or a Mike Kafka going to sign up for a roster that's committed to those things? That's why you do this. And that's not the only one.
That's not the only what?
It's not the only Carolina Panther that gets moved in this here little exercise.
Oh, I see. All right. So the first trade that could turn things around, and this isn't really even turning things around. This is just cementing your place at the top of the league for the Buffalo Bills to go out and get Christian McCaffrey from the Carolina Panthers.
And the next one is going to make just a slew of you very, very angry. And the more I've looked at it, the more I like it.
That coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road northbound is stop and go between the Royal Ponds area and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Brevard Road, NC 191, north and southbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road, north and southbound delays. I'm Lindenfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
It's midterm season. MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis to give you a greater understanding of the races, the results, and what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2022 midterms on MSNBC.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs, too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes! Loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Chest up, engage your core.
At Misty's gym, boot camp gets pretty close to the real thing. She wants to spot a personal trainer with a military background.
I can cover this week's boot camp, but we need someone stacked. Isn't your cousin a Marine?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety, from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
What can fix your disappointing NFL franchise in this 2022 season? Flostradamus, what's the trade that's going to tick everybody off?
Well, there's going to be a slew of wide receivers that are available. I can't tell you that any of these things happen. There's often a good amount of talk around the trade deadline. This is the most I've ever heard, and this is the most theoretical impact players in situations that don't make a ton of sense. There's another player in Carolina that I don't think he's long for this world. And his name is DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
But he's young. He is young. He's also $25 million against the salary cap next year. And he doesn't fit every offense. DJ Moore's a very specific fit. And there's one that makes a lot of sense and would make me come off a team that I've talked a lot of smack about.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, DJ Moore to Dallas.
That is one that I have been hearing just simmering. Jerry knows. He knows I've got to have another receiver. If I'm planning on Dak Prescott and this open it up offense, because that's how Micah Parsons can be Micah Parsons. I have to get ahead. I have to be able to score. I cannot do this with winning games 12-9. The defense is not that good. And that's one of the few teams that I think would give you a first-round pick for DJ Moore. I've asked that to a lot of people, and that is the one name that I've been told. People around the league think he's worth a first-round pick. And Carolina probably won't come off of him for less than that.
Right.
And if you're Carolina, that's a total win. John Carmen asked in the YouTube chat about dead money with deals. Here, I always looked at those things too, and here's what I was specifically told. These teams don't care. They don't care. Matt Ryan's holding a $45 million dead cap hit for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 year.
Right. We pay somebody to figure this out.
And you have a cap guy, and you rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic. All of these teams know the cap is going up. So as long as you have that young quarterback on a rookie deal, nobody cares. And Carolina's going to have Darnold and Baker Mayfield coming off this year. So, yeah, the dead cap hit on these is not super palatable. But it's also not enough that it would keep you from doing it. If you can go, basically, if you can go buy a first-round pick for $15, $20 million, you're going to do it. Because that pick is worth its weight in gold to a team like the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. First-round draft pick from the Dallas Cowboys could secure DJ Moore, but not Christian McCaffrey. I think that's where fans look at it and go, but wait.
Because one's a wide receiver and one's a running back. One has a career longevity that says at 28 years old, you're either going to be done or have 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. Running backs just don't hold the weight that other positions in this league do.
Right.
And like off-ball linebackers.
And here's the thing I think that fans don't think about of Christian McCaffrey's already proven he's elite in this league. Yeah, he's already proven it 5 years ago.
Yeah, he's also got 1,300 touches for a running back that's a whittle feller anyway.
Is he still talented? Yes. Can
Absolutely.
he still win you games? Absolutely. They wouldn't want him if he couldn't. But long term, it may just be best.
It is hard to build a roster that's not already built when you're building it around a running back like that. Ask yourself this. Of the elite teams in the league, and I'll go top 10, how many of them have a running back that's on a highly paid deal?
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait. Most of them are on rookie deals because most running backs don't get a second deal. And that's why when you signed McCaffrey, I tried to warn you, this is not going to age all that well. Archie Cunningham chimed in with DJ Moore to Green Bay. They need a receiver. Now, I do declare I am glad you said that because there is a wide receiver in my little shenanigans here that goes to the Green Bay Packers, and his name is not DJ Moore. It's Chase Claypool. This is the trade I am the most confident is going to happen. This started about a week ago and has gotten hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And the fact that Mike Tomlin would not even acknowledge Chase Claypool having a nice game on Sunday tells me it's already – I can't tell you it's already done.
Right.
It's going to happen.
But it's already down that path.
He's cheap. He's talented. I would say he's probably worth a 3. I want to say a 4, but could be a conditional 4 turns into a 3.
I was thinking more along the lines of a 4.
So
he loses. You
got to remember how young he is, and you got to remember how good of a deep threat he is.
I get it.
And if you look down the league, there are a lot of receivers available. Not many of them are as good of a deep threat as this, and that's what Aaron needs. If you look at the way the Green Bay Packers are constituted right now, this is the reason I didn't give him DJ Moore. DJ Moore doesn't fix your problem. DJ Moore is another small receiver that has to beat you off the line.
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody that will get that safety away from Aaron Jones, will get that safety away from A.J. Dillon. I need somebody that pulls the top off the defense. I've got guys that can go make a catch. Alan Lazard can make a catch. Hell, Christian Watson can go make a catch. I just kind of have to generate it because he can't run a route.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of guys that do that. I need the one that scares me deep. That's when Aaron's his most lethal. Think about how many times you've seen Aaron with the hard count. They build it into the offense. When I get you, go, because I'm the best in the league at doing this. And what I saw with Green Bay against my New York Jets, there's no fear. The Jets, the biggest drawback of the New York Jets is at safety. Both of the safeties are one plays in the box and one's not good over the top. They had no fear. They had 8 guys in the box, a lot, and you're not going to be able to run that way. And if you can't run, Aaron's not going to be able to be Aaron because the hellhounds are at the door at all times. And to me, Chase Claypool is the best fit for that of all the receivers that are available. I also feel like he's a guy that just needs a
change of scenery.
I feel like he needs away from Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
And I mean, and that sounds bad because that sounds like I'm saying something about Mike Tomlin. I'm not. I just feel like Tomlin is done with the tomfoolery. He's had enough of this. All right, I had Antonio Brown. I had Juju Smith-Schuster, and now I have Chase Claypool. I'm tired of this. That's not who Mike Tomlin is. I'm not saying he's the hardcore disciplinarian guy. I don't need the guy that's on TikTok. I'm out. I got a young quarterback. I'm rebuilding. I'm catching a lot of smoke because Steelers fans don't expect to be where they are. I want rid of the headache. I want my sanity back.
Right.
And I feel like part of that problem is Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool to the Green Bay Packers would definitely solve a problem.
Oh, it'd absolutely solve a problem. Would absolutely solve a problem.
Mm-hmm. You still have some other things to clean up on that team, but you got to get Aaron Rodgers weapons. How long have we been screaming this? And granted, they did go out in the draft and get him receivers this year, but you need something else. You can't be banking on Sammy Watkins coming back and making an impact.
Havoc in our YouTube comment said Claypool to the Titans would be good. I hate to use this same phrase again, but I do declare I am glad that you said that, my friend, because I have somebody going to the Tennessee Titans. It's a pass catcher, but it's not a wide receiver.
Not a wide receiver.
It's a guy that I said the offseason. They put the franchise tag on this guy, and nobody could figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
Me, namely, going, you do know he doesn't fit in this offense at all.
Okay.
And they just had a week where they showed him off for everybody to see. And his name is Mike Gesicki. There are a few players in this league that are as good at the continuation play as Mike Gesicki is. That's the problem with him with the Dolphins. Tank can vouch for this. I said this all offseason long going, the fit of Gesicki with a Kyle Shanahan disciple is much like the fit of me in a dress.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing pretty about this. It's not going to be good. And it's not. His snap count is pathetically low. And I'm sure somebody's going to say, but what about Austin Hooper? Two different kind of players. And I will say, there's been calls on Austin Hooper because he has not been what they expected him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Gesicki's not a good blocker. He's not a good inline blocker, and he doesn't fit the – yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Because now you have Robert Woods, who is an elite blocker as a wide receiver. He's an elite blocker. Not Corey Davis, who's the best blocker in the league. And that's not me being a Jets fan. That was an analytical stat. You have that. I need the guy that when Ryan Tannehill gets out of the pocket, because that's what he does best. We've known this forever.
Yes.
When he comes off the play action, you collapse down on Derrick Henry. Who is the guy that one-on-one is a mismatch? When Treylon Burks comes back, he will be advantageous. That's fine. Gesicki can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can line up in line. And that is the kind of move piece that if you look at Mike Vrabel and the way this team is run, that's an ideal fit to me. And it's one that doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense when you say it at first glance.
Mm-hmm.
And then you really think about it and go, no, that makes way more sense than I thought. I can't take credit for that one. That one wasn't mine.
Well, I mean, it just hasn't worked with Austin Hooper. Ryan Tannehill and Austin Hooper spent extra time in preseason and training camp trying to get their rhythm down, and he has, I think it's 6 catches, 7
like
catches in the first 6 weeks.
And this gets super inside baseball, and I'm not really trying to do that. What they thought was that Austin Hooper was a good enough mixture of a blocker with a pass catcher that he would be an asset in the run game and an asset in the pass game. The problem is that he's not actually good enough at either one of those things. And so he's been kind of a liability when he's on the field. You need somebody that's really good at one thing, and that's what Mike Gesicki is. Another team to look out for him, and I said this last year too, the Los Angeles Chargers. Not to replace Gerald Everett, just as another pass catcher.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
I had to tell this story because it involves 2 of Jeremy's favorite things in the entire world. 1 is dead birds. And 2, yeah, see, who knows you? Who knows you? And 2
What, their
is
batteries die?
Travel. Yeah.
Something that's not real can't die. It's kind of like saying the chair I'm sitting in died.
Number 2 is travel by hot air balloon. A balloonist who
is that a word?
Yeah,
a balloonist.
A balloonist. That is someone who flies hot air balloons. Well, he had a problem on his hands because he was in a race back in March of 2017. Yes, they have hot air balloon races. This guy's flying over a house in March of 2017, and he flew just a mere 50 meters above the aviary of 3 very expensive birds. These parrots, by the way, they have the ability, I guess it would be the internal flaw, that if a parrot gets too excited about something, his teeny little tiny heart bursts. Yeah.
I chose a bad time to stop paying attention.
You can have so apparently sudden loud sounds or scary moments or whatever can cause parrots just to have instant heart attacks and die. Well, apparently they got scared off by this balloonist back in the March 2017 race, flying 50 meters over their aviary, that they all just dropped dead. And now a court has decided that Mr. Den Bosch now owes $58,000 to the owners of these parrots.
Well, I mean, those government surveillance birds are really hard to program.
$58,000 is what he was told to pay. The owners actually made a claim for $115,000 settlement to compensate them for the loss of a yellow-naped Amazon and a hyacinth macaw. 2 of those.
Any animal that you have to describe with that many syllables is not a pet that I want.
And also damages because those expensive birds could have spawned off other expensive birds. I figure he got off easy.
That's why I stick with a dog. Hey, Jeremy, what kind of dog you got? It's a dog.
Dog.
Her name's Mamba. That's all I got.
Yeah.
She has white ears. I don't know what kind of dog she is. This story could have fit into weird or crimes, but I have another crime story, so I'm telling it here. It's about Alabama man. His name is Ricky Franks Jr., and apparently he is a diehard member of Roll Tide Nation. Lives in Florence, Alabama, and apparently he has a neighbor who's a big Tennessee fan. And it appears that after the game, I don't know if he was watching the game with his Tennessee fan friend, of which if you're this angry, maybe watch it at your house.
Don't go in public.
These two were together. The game ended. They got into an argument, and then Mr. Franks went home. And if that's where this story ended, I wouldn't be telling it. But it didn't, because Mr. Franks went to his home and got a shotgun and fired it into the dwelling of his Tennessee fan friend.
Well, that's never a good idea.
Good news here, Ricky's not a very good shot. Didn't hit anybody with the shotgun spray, but he was arrested by the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department and had to post a $30,000 bail.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there is no fan base, and I'm not casting aspersions, okay? The West Virginian me, I've seen me do some stupid things. I feel like we have told more stories about weird Alabama fans than we have any other fan base, maybe all of them combined.
Well, it's just a different kind of animal, if you think about it.
Do you remember the Alabama fan I told a story about a year ago that they found him sleeping in a press box, laying in a pile of chicken fingers and tortilla chips and meth?
Yes, I do remember that.
He was also an Alabama fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, just maybe calm down.
Football hits a little different in the South. It's what people from up north don't get. When you're an SEC fan, it means a little more. You're willing to do more stupid stuff.
Colin Greene, one of our resident Alabama fans, said, don't start. I'm not saying all of you. I'm just saying that they're – and look, I'm a Jets fan. Trust me, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The least of these are the least of these. Okay? I've seen some things at Jet games that I'm not proud of.
This doesn't surprise me at all. I mean,
how do you go home and just go, I'm going to shoot a shotgun into your house now?
Well, I mean, obviously beverages have been consumed. If you have not seen the latest SEC roll call from Matt Mitchell, the comedian who posts all his stuff on Facebook, the roll call this week was fantastic. And as he described in there, thanks for celebrating our win, but moonshine doesn't have labels. It doesn't have barcodes. We drink the real stuff down here.
Correct.
And when that's involved, you can come up with many things that you think are a good idea at the time. Harvey Updike. Anybody remember that story? Anybody remember that name? The Auburn fan, or the Alabama fan that poisoned the trees at Auburn because he was so upset about how the Iron Bowl ended. Some people just can't contain their fandom. And, if your buddy next trailer over ticks you off, he's going to come a-shooting.
I love that you said next trailer over, and you can find him at Sports Tank ESPN.
Don't tell me they didn't live in a place called Twisted Oaks or something like that. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slows between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound light delays east of Brevard Road to the French Broad River. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. NC 191, Brevard Road, northbound, stop and go between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. Merriman Avenue, north and southbound, near Edgewood Road, delays. I'm Lindenfield with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Skip the symptoms, not the celebration.
Celebrate comeback season with Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Its maximum strength formula tackles up to 9 cold and flu symptoms. Try Mucinex All-in-One and get $5 cash back to celebrate your comeback. Visit fastmaxcashback.com to learn more. Use as directed.
If money is what scares you this fall, then listen here for your $1,000 inflation bonus. Win $1,000 every hour, weekdays between 9 and 5. Happening now, right here.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, Flostradamus laying down the hot takes on trades, trade rumors in the NFL, guys that he thinks could be traded, and these are fixes. These are all fixes for the disappointing teams in the NFL so far this season. Rolling on here, he says I'm really going to like this one. So
it's because this fixes your team.
Okay.
And it's going to sound strange when I say it.
Okay.
What is Tom Brady missing right now?
What is he missing? An offensive line.
Well, unfortunately, there are no fixes to that. Half the teams in the NFL would love for an offensive lineman to be available. They're not. What did he have last year and the year before that?
Rob Gronkowski.
Now, the question is, why did Rob Gronkowski fix things for him?
Well, he was a big body that added to the line.
That helped. He was also a big body that you could put out put out wide, and it now takes somebody out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a safety, whether it's a linebacker, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's a corner. That did not tend to end well.
Yeah, it was a threat that you're right. It was a threat that loosened up the box because you knew he was going to take 6 steps and turn around and get one.
And there is a tight end who is readily available, and he's a big body, and he's very athletic.
Okay.
And his name is Albert Okwuegbunam.
Ooh. I like it.
I had to explain that before I gave it. Denver believes in Greg Dulcich. I told you when they made that pick, there is something weird here because those two together, shoe buddy. You talk about not able to block a block of cheese. Something's up. And now I know what it is. Okwuegbunam's fine. he has not been as productive as you would want. I feel like Denver's looking around going, we've got to do something. I have a fix for them in a minute. It's another one of those that I'm going to have to explain, but I'll get there.
Okay.
And Greg Dulcich is their guy. Greg Dulcich is the tight end that they believe in, that he's the guy for the long haul, and I agree with them. But you put Okoyebanam in Tampa Bay, and that allows you to run him in that Gronkowski role because K-Dotton cannot do it. K-Dotton's more of an inline.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost like you're taking two guys and turning them into a Rob Gronkowski that you cloned and dumbed down a little bit. And now you can play them both at the same time.
And that's what you need to do that. You need to give every advantage you can to the offensive line that's been struggling. The only wish that I had was if we could stick that tight end in the middle of the line to be able to help them out. I'm not worried about the edges. I'm worried about the middle of the offensive line. You saw that take place in Pittsburgh over the weekend. The pressure up the middle was what was failing.
When I watch Tampa Bay, the problem is that they don't have anybody outside of Mike Evans that does that.
Mm-hmm.
What was always infuriating to me about watching Tampa Bay is that they could pull Gronkowski out, and it shifted the defense. And they absolutely loved running a little draw to play off Lenny when you had Gronk out wide, Mike Evans out wide, because you knew there was no way there's more than 6 guys in the box, ever. Never happens. You catch one on the backside, and now it's 5-on-5. Hat on hat. Lenny has to make somebody miss possibly, but that changes a lot for where you're at with Tampa Bay.
All right. I like it. It was a little 3-dimensional chess on your part, but
it's what I do.
I'm glad we're all smarter for it.
It's the only thing. It's really the only thing I can do.
All right, who's next? Who are you fixing next?
Well, that Denver Bronco team. And this one's going to sound a little weird because you're looking at the offense going, well, it's not good. It's also expensive. There's really not much you can do there. There's not. But there is a player out there that is currently miscast where he is. What is the best way to mitigate the fact that you can't score points?
Play lockdown defense.
Don't let them score points.
Yeah.
And so the addition for the Denver Broncos is William Jackson.
Oh.
Put him on the opposite side of Pat Surtain. He's a man cover guy. Now you have 2 pieces of this pretty well locked down. And he could currently be had for, I don't know, the equitable rate of whatever a basket of oranges cost. Get him one of those edible arrangements.
Yeah, those are great.
They will give you William Jackson. Lisa Evansell asked who. He was a really good corner. Then he went to Washington and kind of disappeared. And now he's demanded a trade because he's miscast. Jack Del Rio does not understand how to use him or just refuses to. I can't tell which one. It's one or the other.
I'm gonna say with the examples that we already have with the Washington Commanders football team, we just don't want to play him. We realize he's a great player. But we're just not gonna use
he's
him.
good, but you know what? I don't want to. I don't like his face.
Yeah,
he needs to do something about his face.
He needs to do something about that face.
And if you look at what is played on the opposite side of Patrick Surtain, it's rotated around a lot of times. And you know what they've all had in common? Bad. Now you get Justin Simmons back. Now that defense is looking legitimately actually terrifying, especially when you get Randy Gregory back.
This is a move that's not going to make the Denver Broncos a playoff team. It's not going to make them a Super Bowl contender, but what it's going to do is maybe ensure that they can win another game or two.
I could say I would agree with that.
Right. I mean, because this is a bad team, regardless.
The biggest fix for Denver is that you have to figure out, Russell's not just a sit in the pocket and throw darts quarterback. We're going to have to get him out of the pocket at some point. I can't trade for you a play caller that has an IQ above salad dressing. That wasn't in the cards. That's not how the game was played. So until somebody figures that out, I don't really have much for you on offense.
And if you look, look at what Denver's done so far this year. Nothing on offense, but the defense has kept other teams from scoring as well. So if you added something to that offense or to that defense, then maybe you got a path to win a few more games. Another sound choice by Flo Stradamus here on ESPN Asheville.
West Virginia Willie in our YouTube comments. I combined West Virginia into a full name there. So the Giants need a living, breathing human with a pulse at wide receiver. Ironic you said that because you do have a trade with a wide receiver. The only problem is it's one leaving you and going somewhere else. His name is Darius Slayton, and he goes to the Baltimore Ravens. You can't play offense with receivers like this. I mean, the Deshaun Jackson thing's cute. That's adorable. He runs a route. Actually, that's a lie. He runs two. He can run a 9 route, and he can run a drag. And you give it 4 weeks, and he will be hurt.
Yep.
You mark my words that I said that.
Mm-hmm.
You need an actual legitimate wide receiver. Darius Slayton is a legitimate wide receiver. He does not fit Brian Daboll's offense at all. Why? I don't really know. Because body-wise, he looks a lot like Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's the same player.
Not even close.
That's not what I meant by that. I felt like when Daboll got this job, I thought that he could fill that role. And the fact you would have Wan'Dale Robinson and on and on and on, that would work. Brian Daboll is committed to Wan'Dale. He's committed to Wan'Dale.
Yeah.
He likes David Sills. They know their limitations right now. They're playing with house money. You're not giving up assets for this year because they know. At the end of the day, we're still going into this with Daniel Jones, and Saquon's great. We're winning this defensively. We're going to run the ball really well. Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over. You get an asset here for Darius Slayton, and I actually think he's worth more than a lot of other people do. I watch him I think he's worth a conditional 5.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like much in NFL circles. That's a lot for a player that's being traded in season.
Sure.
Especially one that's not being used by a team that probably needs receivers more than any team in the league.
I'm in for a conditional 5.
I would be too.
Yeah, give me Darius Slayton.
I would be too. And I think that would help. Now, obviously, that is contingent on Rashad Bateman coming back because I need those two in together. If Deshaun Jackson's the 3 and I can sprinkle in some DuVernay, all of those things are fine. Right now, Lamar Jackson does not have a receiver that he trusts, not named Mark Andrews, and it becomes very, very obvious. And if you go back and watch the last quarter of the Giants game, the Giants knew that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were leaving guys on islands going, do it. We dare you. We double dog dare you because we are not scared. And Mark Andrews still got his. I think that would fix that offense. I know that sounds like a small thing, but that's a miscast player where he is that would fit nicely in Baltimore.
Alam Solano in the YouTube comments says OBJ to the Giants. I don't think so.
So ironic you said that because I can't trade OBJ because he's not on the team. But after the break, I do have a belief of where he's going, and it's probably not any place that you've heard.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. On Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road, seeing light delays both directions. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 21 minutes. I'm Lyman Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion. First with some music. Then, in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
I love mornings, which is a good thing since the Today Show starts early.
We're here to give you the best start. You get the news, learn something new, and even get a little boost.
We begin our day so you can take on yours.
Watch the Today Show every morning on NBC.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
How can we fix the disappointing teams in the NFL with just a single trade or free agent signing? Jeremy Greene has the solutions here. Where's OBJ going?
Just before I do that, I had one more that we didn't get to. It's Kendrick Bourne to the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, okay.
That's a receiver that's readily available. I guess Pat Matricia and Joe Judge just don't really have much use for him. There's a team that makes a lot of sense with OBJ, and I hadn't thought of it. And I know the Chiefs want him. Travis Kelce wants them to use the money that he freed up. If you're watching him on social media, and I hate that I have to use that phrase, but I do, there's a place where they have a head coach that he's familiar with, and I think they have a better chance at winning the Super Bowl than the team that we've all talked about him going to. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell was his OC with the Rams.
Yep.
That has heated up in the last 24 hours, and I don't know where it came from. Which tells me that there very well may be something to that.
I mean, he'd be a third option for that offense.
I don't buy the Kansas City thing. Oh, he's definitely the two. Thielen with it to play out of the slot where he belongs. It's one of those things I've ranted on for several years.
Right. OBJ to the Minnesota Vikings. That came out of left field, but it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, you're already being pumped up there in the power rankings. You got a hell of a record to start out the season at 5-1. Why not add a little bit more offensive firepower?
The Kansas City thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, that's been talked about since Travis Kelce freed up the money. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Buffalo makes zero sense. He doesn't fit the scheme. I understand him and Von Miller are friends. He's friends with a lot of guys.
Green Bay makes sense, but I think they want to do something now.
And I think they want to do so. I mean, that's the problem with Green Bay is that I need somebody that can be like, can you be on a plane and be here by tomorrow?
Exactly.
I don't need a fix in November. I need a fix right now.
We got the Sports Center update coming up. After the top of the hour, we will start the third hour with the daily draft of the day. Who is going to get traded? We'll make our best guesses up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street, Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. On Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road, seeing light delays both directions. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 21 minutes. I'm Lyman Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is a one-stop destination for shipping supplies like boxes, mailers, and packing filler to services like UPS Shipping. And right now, get 25% off UPS Express shipping services at Staples. Offer valid in U.S. Staples stores only through 12/31. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping.
This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Phillies and Padres scoreless top of the second. Aaronola on the hill against Blake Snell. The Phils have a 1-0 series lead. Tonight, Astros and Yankees begin the ALCS, 7 Eastern ESPN Radio. Houston's been New York's kryptonite in recent Octobers, beat the Yankees in the ALCS in 2017 and 2019, and this time won't be any different, believes ESPN's Jessica Mendoza.
You're talking about the best starters ERA, the best bullpen ERA. You know it comes down to pitching. Yordan Alvarez, we saw the big at-bats from him. They've also won 5 of 7 from the Yankees. They understand that this is their nemesis. You look at the past decade, it is all about Yankees and Astros. They don't get any further because of Houston, and they've owned them.
Jessica Mendoza on Get Up. NFL, speaking for the first time since sustaining a concussion in a game September 29th, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa said he remembers most of that night but did lose consciousness after a hit that sent him to a local hospital. Tua is preparing to return Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Miami's lost all 3 games while he's been out.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
The Warriors are still the Warriors, and they're better. Repeat what I just said. The Warriors are better this year than they were last year.
More from TJ and Max Thursday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go, live or on demand. We get the podcast posted up each and every evening once the show concludes. And don't forget, you can see our pretty faces on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat.
And if you don't subscribe to the socials, first of all, what are you doing? Tomorrow morning, a new element with our friends at Fred Anderson Nissan. As we have told you, they're letting me drive their wonderful cars because they're trying to prove to me that driving is fun. And it didn't take long for them to do that. I had a wonderful Nissan Rogue, brand new 2023, all the bells and whistles, as comfortable as it gets. And it took just 2 days for me to go, okay, so I don't dislike driving. I just only like driving really nice cars, which these are. And so tomorrow you will be seeing me from the car I have with Fred Anderson Nissan, for the morning drive. We open the show with the opening drive. Got the morning drive. It'll be something that I have been marinating on my drive to the studio. Sports-related topic. It'll open some dialogue on the socials. We'll get your comments out there in the opening drive in the afternoon.
Don't TikTok and drive. Don't do that.
I'm not going to be actively driving. It's whatever I was thinking about on the way in.
I didn't think you would be. I was just throwing it out there. It may not be a good idea.
Because here's the thing. Most days in the drive from my house to here, I am thinking about something sports-related, and I have no way to get it out. So when the wonderful guys at Fred Anderson Nissan, 629 Brevard Road, they will give you $250 extra on your trade just for mentioning that we sent you. This is a way to get it out. From the lovely cars, you'll be able to see all the nice bells and whistles. Stephen Tao said I should do a commercial like that Matthew McConaughey commercial. I could 100%.
Oh, the one where you're driving and talking real soft and rolling a booger in your fingers? Like,
I don't think that's how that went, but
I think Jim Carrey did that skit on one of the late night shows.
He did.
It was hilarious.
He did.
Oh, just rolling this booger, driving down the road in my brand new Lincoln.
Yeah, that's not how that's going to go.
Welcome into the third hour of the program, and it's the top of the third hour, and so we kick it off with today's daily draft. Jeremy just gave us all the trades that he thinks could fix teams that have been underwhelming so far this season. Who's actually going to get traded at the trade deadline in the NFL? Coming up on November the 1st. So who's kicking off today's daily draft here, Jeremy?
That would be you.
Me. I'm okay. Well,
and see, this is one of those drafts that you don't have much of a shot of beating.
I don't, but I am going to go with a specific strategy here of, you don't take swings of, there's going to be a giant trade of
Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
No.
You don't take those swings. You go what we know, dink and dunk. So Dinkin and Duncan with the number one pick here in today's daily draft. Who's going to be traded by the NFL trade deadline? Number one pick, I'm taking Cam Akers. Running back
you should.
Out of the Los Angeles Rams. He's already been kind of, I don't want to say ostracized from the team, but he's pretty much from what we could tell, been told, well, you go your way, and we'll go our way, and we can move on.
And Cam Akers is one of those guys that makes a lot of sense. Not necessarily because there's a great fit for him, but because he's very cheap, and somebody's going to be giving him that second lease on NFL life. Obviously, things have not gone well with the LA Rams. Darrell Henderson has been the drastically better back. I will be honest with you, the best scenario to me for Cam Akers is somebody makes the deal for him and then puts him in mothballs. Because his biggest problem is that he is nowhere near healthy. I don't know that he ever will be again. But he's not right now. And so then you hear about the personal issues that he has with McVay and with the Rams. Oh, okay.
Did he take a shot at McVay's wife too?
No, that was just Jared Goff. That's why he got traded to Detroit.
Right. I think
you get to go play for the Motor City Madman, Dan Campbell.
It just makes perfect sense for another team to look at it and go, we can get this guy for cheap, and there's a possibility that we bring him in and he busts out in our system. And that's going to be looked at as a brilliant move.
Because you're going to get him for nothing.
A year from now.
You're going to get him for nothing. He's cheap. I would actually agree with you. He is the most likely to be moved ahead of the deadline. There are two more for me that I actually outlined in the trades that should happen, so we'll gloss over them pretty quickly. William Jackson II is no doubt. He will not be with the Washington Commanders a week from now. It's just a question of what man team is going to go get him. I've heard Arizona. I've heard Denver. They both make a good amount of sense. And that's almost invariably going to happen sometime in the next 7 days.
Okay.
The other's Chase Claypool. There is virtually no shot that he doesn't land somewhere else. Green Bay apparently has a serious interest in him because that's what they believe, is that we're missing the over-the-top threat. That's what we're missing from Devontae Adams, It's not the guy that can go get that crucial catch. They feel like Allen Lazard can do that, just not getting number one coverage and not having no one to take the top off the top of the defense.
Okay. So William Jackson, Chase Claypool. I believe with my next pick, I am going to take, there are so many names out there that you want to look at and go, it'd be great, it'd be spicy if that guy got traded. But I just feel like the NFL trade deadline always lets us down. And then you look at one deal and go, that's something I never thought of, but maybe that helps out this X team, whatever. If you're looking for a wide receiver, I feel like there is a team that's got a pretty damn good offense that's got a wide receiver that's just kind of sitting there not really doing a whole lot. It's DJ Shark. The Detroit Lions, they could get something out of DJ. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be a 2 or a 3 or a 4, anything like that. But this is a piece that you sign for a 1-year deal hoping that he would be some sort of a bridge to the next generation of your wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown has proven so far this year he doesn't need a bridge.
No, he's
the teleportation device.
He is that dude.
Right. He has already just jumped ahead in the line and gone, I'm on the other side of the canyon now. Didn't even need the bridge. And you got Jameson Williams coming back. We're coming off of the NFI list.
That should be sometime around Thanksgiving.
Right.
You probably got about 4 more weeks before he's back.
Why don't you take it to the deadline? Somebody's probably going to want to take a flyer on DJ Shark because he's a very talented wide receiver. He just doesn't have much of a role in this offense. And after DJ Shark, nobody's going to give you anything for him. But I still feel like maybe it's worth a 7th-round pick for somebody to get Kenny Golladay.
It's just so expensive.
It's expensive, sure. But the Giants know. Brian Daboll knows. He took this job going, I'm not going to use that guy. And I don't really care. But get something out of him. Get a 7th-round pick. Somebody give that to you.
Yeah, the money on that deal is rather difficult to deal with. It's $17 million dead cap hit this year.
Mm-hmm. You're going to pay it either way.
It's $11 million next year. That's a lot. But, you do need the guy in the building. If you're not going to use him.
Because he's just a distraction. Because every game, what happens? Somebody catches up to him in the New York media and goes, what'd you think about today? Well, I'm still not playing. It's a distraction for your team. You're trying to build a culture here where you're learning how to win. You can't have disgruntled wide receivers on your team causing problems. You already have enough to put up with Kadarius Toney. We don't need Kenny Golladay being a distraction as well.
How many receivers can you have that don't ever play? All right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. You cheated aggressively yesterday.
I did.
So I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to go 2 players from the same team. And they were both draft picks in the same year.
Okay.
And neither one of them has a future where they are. It's Clelin Ferrell and Jonathan Abram. These are not guys of the current regime, and you're not going to get hardly anything, but I could see somebody trying to take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's been a lot of Mike Mayock's stupid about taking Clelin Ferrell at 4. And I agree with it. B. Malik said this in our YouTube comments. I swear to you, this was actually my next pick. There were a lot of teams that thought he could be a impactful pass rusher in the NFL. And now who those teams are, I don't know. Miami Dolphins. The one I keep hearing on him. Jonathan Abram, you will be lucky to get a 6 for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking conditional 6. They could revert back to a 7 if he doesn't hit some likely to be attained incentives. But I could easily see both being dealt. And the other for me is Kendrick Bourne. He's one that I see no path that he survives in New England.
Okay.
The current regime just has no interest. It's Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm.
And Devontae Parker and the other and Tyquan Thornton. Wouldn't be shocked, by the way, if he goes to if Kendrick Bourne went to the Raiders because he is a Josh McDaniels guy. Maybe for Clelin Ferrell.
This is a good time to need a running back.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of running backs out there that can be had at the trade deadline. And I'm going to use my last 2 picks on running backs.
Bold strategy, Scott. Let's see how it works out for you.
The first one, Cleveland Browns, D'Ernest Johnson. He's played 10 snaps this year. He's not hurt.
Nope.
He's not hurt. He's just basically a healthy scratch. And if you're looking at a horrible backfield that you don't know what's going to happen to it, Denver Broncos. I'm going to call my shot on the team on this one. Denver Broncos. I mean, the other night, you and I were going back and forth about, I said something about Melvin Gordon getting touches, and you said, oh, no, it's Mike Boone. And then
Latavius Murray.
And then Latavius Murray comes out of nowhere and is the bell cow, so to speak, for the Denver Broncos. They need something, apparently. If they're not going to use Melvin Gordon.
Oh, by the way, he is starting this weekend against the Jets.
Melvin is?
Yeah, Denver put that out. So when you say starting, does that mean he's going to get the first carry and then get super glued to the bench? Because technically that is starting. You didn't lie. Maybe omitted the truth a little bit, but you didn't lie.
Mm-hmm. He is a problem. He is a problem because how many times during the primetime game did we have to see Melvin Gordon sulking on the sidelines, cussing under his breath because he's not getting into the game? He could be a trade candidate too as well, but I don't know who's going to give you anything for him. D'Ernest Johnson's different. He's younger, obviously.
Your problem there is Cleveland won't come off of him.
They won't.
They see him as the replacement for Kareem Hunt in a year.
Well, maybe so. Maybe so. And lastly, I'm going to take another running back here, and it's one that I'm pulling all of my heart of hearts wants to see this guy gone from the situation that he's in. It's Antonio Gibson. If you're not going to use him, get rid of him. I get you don't like the fumble issues and whatever, but if you're not going to use him, get rid of him. You like Brian Robinson better. Okay, good. Let's move on.
I see absolutely no path of that happening, but I know he's your little friend.
He is.
And you desperately want somebody to make him the running back that he's not physically capable of being.
He is capable.
You remember when sorry. I don't want to take a victory lap.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, this is very simple. It's the team I know the best. And it's a player that I know that calls have been made, and eventually my brother-looking GM, Joe D, is going to have to take the call and actually make the move. And it's Denzel Mims. Dallas Cowboys have made sense there for me forever. I can't believe it hasn't already happened. And I don't see any path that he ends. You got, if you're the Jets, you have to look around and go, okay, let's say we get a 5 for him, conditional 5.
Mm-hmm.
Under what scenario is he ever going to play actual meaningful snaps?
He's not.
He's buried as the 5, and he offers nothing as a special teamer. So are we just burning a roster spot every single week?
Mm-hmm.
That's, to be honest with you, that's one that I'm as confident in as any of the others.
I could see him switching locker rooms too. Maybe the Giants bring him into the fold.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's not a terrible call.
Mm-hmm.
Jets did just make a trade with the Giants not long ago.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound stop and go between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. Brevard Road northbound in Avery Creek approaching Long Shoals Road. Delays again Brevard Road northbound slow north of Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Merriman Avenue north and southbound approaching Edgewood Road. Delays. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms in magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, live in the Ingles Studio. And today, for the first time since, well, he was knocked out on September the 29th, Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa told the media that he did, in fact, lose consciousness when he was hit in the Cincinnati Bengals game in Week 4.
Who's shocked by that?
It's a scary moment, obviously. He tells the media that he wasn't really thinking of anything long-term or short-term at the moment when he finally did come to. He was just wondering what had happened. Yeah. We all saw it. We all saw you get knocked out. A dude's hands don't do that voluntarily.
No, and that was a scary situation.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I'm going to say I'm hopeful of is that you don't take this situation and compound the problem. I feel like what I said about this in the time has been misconstrued. I didn't say that nothing was mishandled. What I said is he passed the test.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about Cincinnati. I'm talking about in Buffalo, or against Buffalo in Miami. He passed the test. That's what we have to test for. Because this barely put in new concussion protocol, this doesn't make any sense. This makes absolutely no sense. I have it on good authority that Teddy Bridgewater never showed a symptom of anything. And took him a full week to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a bad look. We haven't talked about this yet. We didn't really talk much about the Dolphins game because there wasn't much to talk about.
Right.
But so he was hurt enough that you wouldn't let him practice all week. Then he clears the protocol on Saturday, and he's good enough to be the backup on Sunday, and then had to come in for the quarterback who actually got hurt with no practice. First time you get a guy hurt that way, you'll get sued.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's actually a scary way to get somebody hurt, because you overreacted to a misdiagnosed concussion where Tua Tagovailoa said it was his back.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to legislate this out of the game.
No.
Guys are always going to want to play. This is just the way it is. This is kind of like people that the human cannonball that they used to have at circuses. Yeah, I know this could end very badly. I'm well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody really expects you to lay out a pillow for me to make sure that I hit the ground appropriately.
Unless your name's Tom Brady.
I can't talk about that with you because hashtag no homer, and you don't do that well. So I'm hoping the fact that Tua's being candid about this I did lose consciousness. There was obviously something that happened. I've missed several weeks. And I would say as time goes on, he'll probably speak more candidly about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you noticed, he very eloquently avoided the Buffalo misdiagnosis or whatever happened. He wouldn't talk about that. He wouldn't talk about that at all. Like, no, the Cincinnati thing was bad. It's kind of made me reevaluate things. I'm looking at this a little differently. We get all of that.
Mm-hmm. And here's my message to those of you who may think that you're on the he was lying side about the Buffalo game. Think he'll ever do it again?
No.
If he actually did have a concussion, somehow was able to fake his way through the protocols or whatever because the baseline was too low, whatever that could be.
He bombed the baseline. That's
right.
I've been told that by more than one person.
Right.
That's the only way you pass this is if you bomb the protocol test.
Okay. Do you think he'll ever do it again? That he may have suffered some kind of a minor concussion against against the Buffalo Bills, and then the next week, same kind of play happens. He gets slung to the ground, head hits the turf, and now what happened? It's more serious. Obviously, the second time can trigger that reaction, and that's what triggered the league into making the changes that they did. I mean, it's a frightening thing when you have national television, all eyeballs on this game, and you got a quarterback who's showing those kinds of symptoms. Stumbling's one thing. But when you have the, what is it, ataxia? Or whatever, the involuntary spasming of muscles and things because of traumatic brain injury, that's a scary thing. And that's when you get more people tuned in to what you're doing.
And B. Malik in our YouTube comments said, nobody wants to watch $1 billion product with backup quarterbacks while the starters are healthy but in protocol. Bottom line, they will have this reversed quickly. And that's the point. They're trying to protect the quarterback, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the numbers over the weekend between Tennessee, Alabama, and Bills, Kansas City. Now, you're throwing ridiculous numbers. Insane numbers. 3 years ago, I would have said they weren't even possible numbers. So we want to protect the quarterback. I get that. You just can't you can't get to the situation where the optics start pushing you into complete lunacy.
Yeah, I mean,
the Teddy Bridgewater thing is lunacy.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Dolphins Twitter and different people I know that are Dolphins fans. There's nothing there. And I understand overreacting, but you just can't keep doing it. Because to me, that's actually scarier than not what happened to Tua. But if you do the test right, then none of that matters.
I don't think they will. See, everybody's like, oh, well, see, this is ridiculous with the Teddy Bridgewater, and I don't disagree. But it's going to be that way for a little while. When you've got this fresh in your mind and it just happened, everybody is going to be keying in. That's why we've seen so many roughing the passer penalties, and the stupid ones even from Jerome Boger in the Tampa Bay game.
Ooh, that dwindled aggressively this week. oh, by the way.
Exactly. Because you overreact and you go, oh, no, now the spotlight's on us. We have to make sure we're doing the right things. And how long is it going to last? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Eventually, it will all come back to the mean.
Well, I can just tell you that there is one of those hushed things in NFL circles this week of, do you realize how bad this could have actually gone for us? With Teddy. Not with Tua. The Tua thing is bad enough, but that's done. You could have had a guy that cleared protocol on Saturday have to come back in as a backup, and had he gotten hurt again, you think it's bad the first time? You should have seen what happens the second time for a guy that had no symptoms. He had, from everything I've been told, he had no more chance of any kind of head injury that week than he had any other week of his life. But you overreacted, and you almost put yourself in a horrible situation. That's what happens when you overreact.
It's time for the most important message of the day here in the Sportsocracy. And as always, that message:
don't do crimes!
Pennsylvania. This guy's probably a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Just judging on the reputation of Philadelphia Eagles fans.
At Sports
His name is Jonathan Beck, and he's from the East Earl Township. And he was charged with criminal mischief, among other charges, after it was, police got called to a convenience store in Ephrata Township, Pennsylvania, as Jonathan Beck was pumping gas around 2:24. I'm hoping this is AM. It doesn't say AM or PM, but it says at 2:24 on September the 29th, he was pumping gas at the gas station. And then, for some reason, he decided he was a little hot and he needed to cool off. So he just stripped all of his clothes off and then ran to the ice chest in front of the convenience store, removed several bags to make a little room, and then just nestled himself right in there so he could cool off.
Oh, he double dipped the chip in the ice bin?
He did.
No,
he
no,
did.
no.
Fully nude in front of, as my mom likes to say, God and everybody, and decided to get inside of the ice chest. Obviously, the bags of ice had to be disposed of.
Ugh.
I love that they pointed that out in the story.
It's okay, just let them refreeze again.
According to police, Beck then removed several ice bags from the bagged ice freezer and jumped inside while completely undressed, causing numerous bags of ice to be disposed of.
Oof.
Yeah, and when they asked him why, I guess his excuse was hot. I was high. He was arrested, charged with criminal mischief. He also had marijuana on him, and I'm just saying, I think there were other drugs involved. I've just never known anybody to be that high.
That's
off of just the marijuanas.
That's Senator Sucks. That's up there.
Yeah.
That's up there. Mine was apparently not under the influence of drugs, just very angry. Rory S. Woods, 55, of Springfield, Massachusetts, been having a little kerfuffle with her living arrangement. October 12th, the Hampden County Sheriff's Department showed up to serve her with eviction papers. Well, there were protesters in front of her house because apparently this has become a thing in the town, that this woman's been in this house for quite some time. They don't like how this is going, and people are protesting because, for whatever reason, people think that we care what you think, specifically when it comes to law enforcement. Good, I got news for you. We don't. And the FIFO. Miss Woods shows up. She was not at home when the sheriff's deputies came to the home. And she showed up in a truck towing a trailer. Nobody knew what was in the trailer. Well, Ms. Woods reached into the back seat and began putting on her beekeeper outfit because she went into the trailer and released the bees,
of course she had bees
on the police. Well, the problem with that is 3 of the cops were allergic to bees.
There you go.
There is no talk yet of she could be charged with more aggressive things than she already has been, because apparently when one officer told her that 3 of the cops were allergic to bees, she allegedly said, "You're allergic to bees? Good."
I believe they call that attempted murder.
She has been arrested, and bail has not been set.
She ain't getting out for a long, long time, especially if she knew. If they told her, "We're allergic to bees," and she said, "Well, deal with these buddies." Yep, that's attempted murder. At least assault on on government officials.
Oh, absolutely.
3 counts. That's several years.
Then, you're going to jail? Good. I can use your line too, Rory.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Don't do crimes.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 40 westbound between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Merriman Avenue north and southbound near Edgewood Road. Heavy delays both directions. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between the Biltmore Forest area and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road north and southbound between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway delays. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. I'm Lindenfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
It's midterm season. MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis to give you a greater understanding of the races, the results, and what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2022 midterms on MSNBC.
I love mornings, which is a good thing since the Today Show starts early.
Morning, welcome to Today.
Those first hours set the tone for the day ahead.
We're here to give you the best start. You get the news, learn something new, and even get a little boost.
You start the day off with a clean slate, and we hope you'll start it with us.
We begin our day so you can take on yours.
Because every day needs today.
Watch The Today Show weekday mornings at 7 on NBC.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. W Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety, from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
The icing has apparently taken place, and now we are ready to get back down to business. There will be more icing that has to happen on the high ankle sprain of Sam Darnold, but the Carolina Panthers quarterback savior for 2022 is back at practice.
He's going full ginge beard, too. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did not.
His face looks strikingly like mine. Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Well, he decided that he needed to accessorize like his Lego self should.
Oh, absolutely.
So Sam Darnold, he's not going to be back this week. He's not going to be back for the Tampa Bay game. They've already announced that P.J. Walker will be starting this week against Tampa Bay. Jacob Eason will serve as the backup. Which, before, 2 days ago, did you know that they had picked up Jacob Eason?
I did not.
I didn't either. I had no clue about that until about 2 days ago. But he is the backup going into this week. Sam Darnold being back at practice, though, does give him a shot to start in the next couple of weeks after it was said just last week that he wasn't even close. You got to do something.
Oh, no doubt. And he's going to be the starter. Baker Mayfield will never play another down for the Carolina Panthers. Because there's absolutely no reason to do that.
No. 15.5 QBR for the season for Baker Mayfield. That, my friends, is
god-awful.
Yeah, it's god-awful. And Sam Darnold, he can provide a spark, as shown last year in those first few games. I get that he got injured, and then he came back, and it wasn't great. But there's no way you can look at Sam Darnold and see what Baker Mayfield has given you and go, yeah, Sam's going to be better. He can't be worse.
Do you know how many quarterbacks in the NFL that qualified? There are 32 qualified quarterbacks on the QBR scale. Do you know how many of them are not double Baker's QBR?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is double plus 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how bad Baker was.
Wow.
It's Joe Flacco, and he missed it by 0.6 of a point. Good for you.
Good job. Good job. You've started out the season horribly. Your quarterback play has been awful. I get the offensive line as an issue, but you at some point you have to look at it and go, Baker Mayfield's just not good.
Yeah, and the offensive line is getting better. It's still not by any stretch of the imagination where you want it to be. And that's kind of why I'm in fire sale mode. If I'm Carolina, if it's not nailed to the ground, make me an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of, say, Brian Burns, I probably wouldn't take calls on him or Derek Brown.
I wouldn't take calls on anybody on the defense.
Oh, I would. Jack Thompson. What you got?
I don't think
what you got? Dante Jackson. Let's chat.
I don't think anybody's lining up to get those guys.
Taylor Moton, same thing. Anybody? What'd you offer it?
Well, now maybe we can talk.
Because it's – and that's one of the things is Taylor Moton would be, without a doubt, the best lineman on the market.
Mm-hmm.
He's expensive. Don't care. There are teams that are desperate for anybody. Rams.
Yep. That's exactly the one I was thinking.
And that's the point. It would be one thing if you had players, specifically on the offense, that you were trying to develop. Who exactly are you trying to develop? Shi Smith, 6th-round pick? Trust me, I think he's fantastic. And I think he'll be a very good receiver in this league in time.
Terrace Marshall.
Who I wasn't even sure that you weren't going to deal him out a while back. Laviska Shenault. This could be a complete overhaul of the offense. It would be one thing if you had a quarterback back there that you're really trying to get an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Darnold is, I think, in large part.
Yeah, and he's not going to be there next year. So
no. And, I think he has another act. I don't think Baker has another act.
No.
I won't be shocked if we never see Baker Mayfield throw another pass in the NFL again.
I won't either.
And you shouldn't.
Who came out to get him? Who came out to get him when he was widely available from the Cleveland Browns?
Carolina, who was unrealistically desperate.
Begrudgingly. They went, well, we got to do something. Okay. Well, if we only pay him $5 million, then we'll do the deal.
And just remember, just harken back to the offseason where you had the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith and Drew Lock, and everybody went, they need to chase Baker Mayfield. And there were two wise gents throwing their arms up and down going, no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. Do you think Scott Fitterer is actually in trouble?
I don't.
I do.
I don't think he's in trouble.
I don't know how he can. I don't know how you can't be. You can't have this much invested in quarterback and have the worst quarterback room in the league by a mile.
Mm-hmm. But you were also pressured into that situation. What else were you going to do? I mean, obviously, in hindsight, the Sam Darnold deal was not a good one.
I don't blame him for the Darnold deal. There were a slew of other teams that would have done that.
But then you had to do something. You had to do something to appease the fan base, and I still
that's the
come
thing.
back.
I absolutely despise when you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to appease the fan base. You know what? You know who does that? Losers do that.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Jets did that forever. Appease the fan base. You know who never does that? Baltimore, Pittsburgh, now Kansas City, Buffalo, teams that win.
It's a rookie mistake. It's a rookie ownership mistake. The problem is he's done it twice.
And I harken back. I don't think you cannot compare those two to me. Sam Darnold was still 24 years old and had been on just a dreadfully awful team.
I'm not talking about Sam Darnold.
You said you've done it twice.
Cam Newton was the other one. Remember last year? I said definitively, I believe this is David Tepper trying to appease a fan base, trying to sell tickets, trying to add some kind of spark. You did it twice. You did it with Cam. You did it with Baker. I mean, horses not zebras here. It was David Tepper's call. I don't think it was Scott Fitterer, and I don't believe that he's in danger. Because everything else that he's done seems to have worked out okay.
Like what?
Well, the drafts have been pretty good, right? Brian Burns and Derek Brown and
first-round pick. Keep going. Tell me about all these wins. Because guess what? You're not going to hear a lot of
Jeremy Chan,
the second-round pick. I mean, I'm going to be real honest with you. You wouldn't have made it this far if you weren't hitting first and second rounders.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the beyond the second round hit you have here. Give me your greatest hits. Frankie Louvu, who you accidentally signed from the Jets because they didn't tender him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that was a good pickup. Other than that, you really crushing these third rounders? Terrace Marshall, that looked like a great pick right now?
No.
I got to ask this. I guess it's been 2 weeks ago now. And I hadn't really thought about it beforehand, and now that it's been broached to me, I can't help it. What you just said is the dirty little secret of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Any idiot can draft in the first and second round at a 50% clip. It's when you don't hit anything else. That's when you have to look around and go, are you as safe as we seem to make you out to be? And I'm not as convinced of that now as I was before.
Okay.
I mean, now when you start missing first and second round picks, that's where you get fired in year 2.
Absolutely.
That's Dave Gettleman kind of things. And about to see the irony that 5 seconds after he walked out the door, the Giants were good. That's not an accident.
Precisely. But they also did something that the Carolina Panthers did not do, and that's hit a home run higher with their head coach once the GM was gone. Once Scott Fitterer left, they got the right head coach. Brian Daboll was there for the taking, and they went, we just can't pass this up.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm headed with this. I feel like Fitterer might be a victim of his own circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure. I am never, ever a fan of the arranged marriage, where you hire the coach and the GM just have to learn to live with each other.
Yep.
I've seen that play out entirely too many times. And, I mean, if you're going to go big game hunting, which everything out of Carolina is, they're the top of the top. Stop with Sean Payton. I'd remiss if I don't say that every time we mention this. I'm not sure that they're not going to want to bring their own personnel guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves Fitterer on the outside looking in.
Maybe so. But I feel like the challenges have been pretty great for Scott Fitterer.
But he did most of them to himself.
Maybe so. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe I just have too high hopes for Scott Fitterer.
You're just the participation trophy guy.
Yeah.
You got a linebacker, right? Good for you.
That's not necessarily all his fault. He's had some bad luck. He's had some obstacles that he can't overcome. I just think it's too early.
There are a lot of guys in the NFL that get fired every single year where I can look at it and go, not all this was your fault.
Sure.
No, you're still unemployed.
Mm-hmm. You've gotten rid of Matt Rule. You've gotten rid of, the coaching staff. I feel like you give him one more shot to get this right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, Jeremy's going to be mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound, stop and go between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound light delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mules Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road delays. Again, Bavard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Merriman Avenue north and southbound near Edgewood Road, heavy delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
This is Loyalty Lab Interview 6. Subject, grandmother's loyalty. Margie, what do you do when your grandson misbehaves?
Angels don't misbehave.
Here we study the most loyal, like you and... Oh, there goes the lamp.
Shouldn't have put it there.
Shell and the Fuel Rewards program has our members' backs, too. It's super easy to save on every gallon. Loyal, just like how you acted like that wasn't his fault.
Someone should clean that up before he gets hurt.
Yes! Loyal, just like that.
10 years of FR.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You don't ride an elevator for the music, and you don't pick an airline for the movies. So when it comes to audio entertainment, it makes sense to choose Audible. It's the home for stories told by the biggest stars, like John Hamm, Kerry Washington, and Kevin Hart. It's home to epic adventures, chilling mysteries, and can't-miss comedies. Audible is the home of storytelling. Let your imagination soar with audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Start a free trial at audible.com.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for a grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dirty turkey shark back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
You know, I feel like this is not this hard to figure out, and yet there is a sport that routinely cannot figure this out. There's an old saying in the restaurant industry: if your food sucks, it better be convenient, because people are not going out of their way to eat a haphazard product. It's the reason McDonald's has been so successful over the years. It's not because that cheeseburger tastes great. It's really easy. And it kind of tastes great, too. Major League Baseball. How in the world do you not understand how painfully stupid your playoffs currently are? First of all, you couldn't figure out how to get your teams in a hotel for an extra night because you didn't block it off. That's genius in a sport that's, played outside and can't be played in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cleveland Indians had to stay in Yonkers before Game 5.
Guardians.
What? Okay, Guardians, sorry. The 4 people that are offended by that. So you have they lose to the New York Yankees in Game 5. Well, now the Yankees have to play tonight. And you have one of your NLCS games happening at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just not want people to see this? Or... because that's the only explanation I can have. What are you trying to avoid? It's a Tuesday night or Wednesday night.
They're not avoiding anything. They're playing to the crowd. They're playing
what crowd
to their fan base. I mean, the 80-year-olds who still like baseball and are still watching these playoffs are going, man, this is awesome.
I'm literally dumbfounded at you were gifted having one relevant team in your CS here with the Yankees, because you were one game away from the Guardians, the Phillies, and the Padres. Woo-hoo. And now you can't even figure out, don't stack these games on top of each other. If somebody's going to watch it, they're going to watch it. It's not they won't avoid it because of Thursday night football. I'm mad. Seemingly day after day after day, baseball finds a way to do something dumber than they did the day before.
Mm-hmm. Phillies, by the way, out 4-2 on the San Diego Padres in the middle of the 4th inning in a game that started at 4:30 this afternoon. Most of us have jobs. Most of us can't be sitting at home watching baseball in the afternoon. It's the only thing I can think of. Is like they feel like they have a big enough piece of the pie amongst the retired in America that we don't really care.
Would the NFL ever put a playoff game on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
No.
On a Wednesday?
No.
Man, I've had my days off all day. Would the NBA ever play a playoff game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday?
No.
There's one time that's socially acceptable.
Maybe
it's college basketball in the tournament.
Maybe when it was in the bubble. Right. It's
you mean that other thing we didn't care about? Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
It is. It is. You got NBA tonight. If you missed Jeremy's bangers. Well,
heavy on my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets.
It's the tip-off games tonight for many of the teams around the NBA, including the Charlotte Hornets on the road at the San Antonio Spurs in the first iteration of the Victor Wembanyama Bowl.
Oh, the Hornets aren't that bad.
Are you serious?
They're not that bad.
They're not that bad?
No. Look at the Spurs roster. Look at who the Oklahoma City Thunder start on a nightly basis, and then tell me the Hornets are that bad.
I don't know. With no LaMelo Ball, obviously, you don't have any Miles Bridges because of his stuff. James Bouknight is dealing with his own things. This team is bare bones. You're starting a team tonight that's Dennis Smith Jr., Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and Mason Plumlee.
3 of those guys would easily be the best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'd be remiss. I did this with Giannis, too. Wembanyama.
Wembanyama, excuse me. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll see you back here tomorrow in the Ingles Studio, 3 p.m.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are behind a fall cold front, and boy, it feels like it. Another night with temperatures below freezing for the valley, 26 degrees, and records not far from that number here in Asheville at the airport. 59 on Thursday and mid-60s Friday. Uphill climb this weekend. Talking about some 70s showing up in the forecast late this weekend and early next week. Low 70s in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lindenfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling.